The Romans came and annexed the land of Israel in 63 BC. So by the time Jesus begins his ministry, the Romans are very well entrenched in the land of Israel. They have been in control of this area for 100 years, give or take a few days. And so these guys have a vast military, a gigantic empire, and they far eclipse in power anything that Jewish rebels or anybody that wanted to, cause a disturbance or a problem could try to muster. And they flexed that muscle. They didn't mind flexing that muscle. When I was a kid, I used to think, well, the Romans came up with crucifixion for Jesus just because they hated him so much. He was the only one. I'd forgotten that there were thieves on either side of Jesus, right? At the very time. I just, never mind about that. Just focusing on Jesus, and I guess that's the way it happened. Now, the Romans had borrowed crucifixion from the Greeks, who got it from the Persians, who got it from the Babylonians, who got it from the Assyrians. It goes back to the 9th century BC. But the Romans had perfected it, and it was their favorite form of execution. So anybody who needed to be executed, they most often they were going to be crucified. We have accounts from Josephus as well as other authors, Roman authors, that there are thousands of people at certain points in history crucified at the same time. Crucified at the same time. Josephus tells us that in AD 70, just before the walls were breached and Jerusalem was invaded by the Romans, they'd been under siege for months, that the Romans couldn't find places for any more crosses. That meant that basically they were touching end to end all around Jerusalem. As a way of doing psychological warfare against the people who were still defending the city. Anybody that tried to escape, anybody that they found in the countryside that needed a good crucifixion, they were nailing them up to the tune of hundreds and thousands all around the city of Jerusalem. So another aspect of Roman rule was that Romans were really into taxes, because they would use taxes from conquered provinces to go and conquer other provinces, or to put down some rebellion somewhere, or just to pay their soldiers well. So Romans were not very much interested in equity or equality in terms of taxation. They got what they could get, and this was the status in Jesus' day. It was heavy-handed military occupation. People like Pontius Pilate, who was one of only 12 Roman governors, were military governors. They weren't elected. They didn't serve a certain term. They served at the behest of Caesar, and they answered only to him, and they were military officers, dispatched specifically to take care of problematic areas like the land of Israel that would often rebel or refuse to pay taxes. So this is the kind of situation that we find ourselves in at the time of Jesus. Probably not a kinder, gentler nation, if anybody remembers George Bush the First. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos. If you're benefiting from the content that you're receiving from them, please make sure that you're following us on Facebook and that you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss a thing. While you're at it, share our content with your friends and family. Encourage them to follow us as well. Thanks for helping us to reach as many as we can with a powerful message of God's Word in its original context.